Reading aloud is a good way to improve your fluency, since it gives you a chance to practice saying words clearly and correctly. Fluent readers read text smoothly and with expression. To read fluently, you must recognize the words and understand their meanings. Reading instructional text offers specific challenges. The text may contain unknown words or words that are difficult to pronounce. If possible, skim the text before reading aloud to identify words that may cause you difficulty. If you have time, look up in a dictionary any words that you do not understand or know how to pronounce. Practice reading the text aloud to help you prepare to read with fluency. Reading fluently does not mean you must read quickly. The nature of the text will often dictate the pace at which you read. A text rich in facts and details will require you to use a slower rate. A text full of suspense and action, or a text that covers a topic with which you are familiar, may allow you to use a faster pace. When you read instructional text, ask yourself the purpose of your reading. Determining the purpose for your reading will help you identify the appropriate expression with which to read, where you should pause and where you should slow down or speed up. For example, when reading step-by-step instructions, you will need to pause after each step. Important areas of text may be read more slowly for emphasis. What helps you understand new vocabulary? Knowing and applying the meanings of roots and affixes can help you understand new vocabulary. You can also construct the meaning of an unfamiliar word using context clues from the text. Context clues are words and sentences around an unfamiliar word that provide clues to its meaning. Analogy practice can also help you understand the relationships between words. Glossaries, dictionaries, and thesauruses are also useful tools in determining meanings of unfamiliar words. While reading fiction, use these definitions to understand, make inferences, and draw conclusions about the structure and elements of fiction. Plot refers to the sequence of events or actions in a story. The setting is the time and place where the action occurs. Often, the setting influences the events of the plot. Conflict is the struggle or clash between opposing characters or forces, which are also called external conflict, or within a character's mind, which is also called internal conflict. A character is a person or an animal in the story. A character's internal responses refer to his or her thoughts, and the external responses refer to the character's dialogue and actions. A character's motivations are what make a character act in a certain way. The motivations and responses of each character influence the development of the plot. Point of view is the angle from which the story is told. In first-person point of view, the narrator is a character in the text. He or she speaks as I throughout the story. In third-person point of view, the narrator is not a character in the story. Instead, the narrator stands apart and comments on the thoughts and actions of all characters. In third-person limited point of view, the narrator describes the action from the perspective of one character and knows that character's thoughts. Apply the following information to understand, make inferences, and draw conclusions about the structural patterns and features of literary nonfiction. Literary nonfiction is about real people, places, ideas, and experiences. Two common forms of literary nonfiction are diaries and autobiographies. A diary contains a person's thoughts recorded on a regular basis. An autobiography is a person's account of his or her life story. Authors may adopt a diary or autobiography as a work of fiction. These are the differences between a diary or autobiography and a work of fiction based on it. Fiction may include more dialogue than a diary or autobiography. An autobiography or a diary is written in the first person point of view. Fiction can be written in any point of view. An autobiography or a diary can only draw from what the author knows and observes. Fiction can draw from what the other characters in the work know and observe. The settings in an autobiography or diary are always real places. In fiction, settings can be made up. Life is messier than fiction. A work of fiction may have a more clear-cut plot than a diary or autobiography. How do authors use sensory language? You can apply the following information to understand, make inferences, and draw conclusions about how authors use sensory language in literary texts. Authors use sensory language to create imagery. They also use imagery and figurative language to convey a mood or feeling. Here is a further explanation of these concepts. Sensory language is language that appeals to the five senses: touch, taste, smell, hearing, and sight. When authors use sensory language to describe their subjects, such language is called imagery. The mood is the feeling an author conveys in a work of literature. You might describe mood using adjectives such as humorous, joyful, or sad. Authors sometimes use figurative language to create a specific mood. When a word or phrase means more than its definition, it is figurative language. Types of figurative language include metaphors and similes. Both compare apparently unlike terms or unlike items. However, a simile includes the word like or as, while a metaphor does not. When you say, "The book cover looked as shabby as an old coat," you are creating a simile. When you say, "His spirit was tattered and torn," you are creating a metaphor. As these examples suggest, both similes and metaphors can convey a mood or feeling. So viewers, that was it for today. See you in another vlog. Take care. Bye bye.